Welcome to the Why Coaching Works podcast monthly bonus. My name is Monty Wyatt, and I'm here to take you on a journey into the world of coaching, executive leadership development, and business growth. Part of coaching is educational, where you learn and implement proven techniques and tips. As a bonus, each month, an episode is focused on helping you grow your skills to be a better leader and a better manager. So if you're ready to begin, get your pen ready and let's get started. Welcome to the Why Coaching Works podcast monthly educational bonus. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Monty Wyatt. If you're a CEO, executive, or business owner, then this is the show for you. We call our audience the Achiever because you're always striving for the next level. In today's episode, we're going to talk about planning for 2025. Yes, it's only the beginning of October, but now is the time to begin. So why should we start now? Planning is a process, not a one-time event. It takes time, and you should plan to get feedback from your team. I want to share with you a few suggestions for discussion and topics to begin your planning for the new year of 2025. First item I want to talk about is reviewing 2024. Review and gain bullets of what is working or what has worked in this year that's given us success, that's given us momentum, whatever it might be to get we consider a success, and that is working. The second thing to review is what needs improved, changed, or that we need to stop doing. We look back and identify what didn't work, that we need to do differently in the next year. In order to go forward, we need to really take a look at where we have been and our progress that we have made. So step number one is reviewing 2024. Item number two is doing a SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, it starts out as a brainstorming exercise, but ultimately it's a prioritization exercise where you are going to brainstorm a list of items for each of those four areas: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then you're going to select 2 to 3 in each of those four categories that you're going to be willing to commit to acting on, addressing, or correcting. As I said, this isn't just a brainstorming exercise. This is helping you prioritize actions that you're either going to maximize to build momentum or actions that you need to take place to correct something or fix something in your business. So that's the second step, is doing a SWOT analysis. The third step, the third item, is reviewing trends. And when I think of trends, I look at 1 to 3 years out, and it's what is happening in our industry. It could be technology, it could be our competition, it could be recruitment, it could be from our customer viewpoint, new products, competition, and needs from our customers, and any other insights regarding the economy that you see or our industry in general. So it's a list of items that gets us discussing what we see moving in front of us in our industry. So step number one, review 2024. Step number two, SWOT analysis. Step number three, trends. Step number four, set goals and priorities for 3 different timeframes. Those 3 timeframes are long-term, midterm, and short-term. And do them in that order. Start with long-term. We want to start with the end in mind, long-term. That gives us direction. It gives us ideas of where we want to take the business and where we're choosing to take the business. When I think of long-term, I'm thinking of 6 to 10 years out. Now, many of you are saying, "Gal, I can barely plan for tomorrow. How do we plan for 6 to 10 years out?" This is a very high-level direction of what we want to become. It's been called big, hairy, audacious goal. It's been called goal setting, whatever it might be. Take a look at 6 to 10 years out. How many people are you influencing? What's our market share? What do we want our revenue to be? So really taking a look at that 6 to 10 year period, and this is to set direction on where we want to head as an organization. The second term is midterm, and this is where I think about 3 years from now. 3 years out, it gets us more realistic in our goals, our timeframes, and our priorities that need to be focused on. The third area is short term being 1 year focus, and this is to help us plan to get to that 3-year benchmark. Now, when I think of planning and goal setting, whether it's long-term, midterm, or short-term, I think of what are the outcomes that we are after. Number one outcome should be revenue. And then I suggest no more than 2 to 4 outcomes that you're working towards as an organization. It could be, again, market share. It could be impact of the business that we have in our community by number of customers we have. It could be growth of customers. It could be any aspect that you want to work towards that we can measure and we can track our progress on in a time frame. So that's the outcome that we're after in the goal setting. The second part I mentioned was the setting of priorities. Priorities are I'm going to call them buckets of topics that we need to focus on that are going to help us achieve those outcomes or those goals that we've set in those timeframes. So do that for your 3-year goals and your 1-year goals. What are the priorities that need to be in place to get the results that we are after? Step number 1, review 2024. Step number 2, do a SWOT analysis. Step number 3, discuss trends. Step number 4, set goals and priorities for 3 different timeframes: long-term, midterm, and short-term. Step number 5, budgeting. Now, I want you to look at this and think of the budget or your view of financials as your financial story or your roadmap for the next 12 to 15 months. When I think of your story, this is revenue by month. This is your expenses by month. When we're going to invest in what each month, how we're going to add people, when are we going to add people? Include that in your revenue and your expenses. So you are telling a story when we're going to market what activities, what's our budget for marketing, what's our budget for sales, what's our aspect that we're putting in, investing in our team. So think of it as the story of what we're going to use our financials for and what the outcome of our financial status will be. So these exercises should be done with your team, or at least by getting input from your team. Each item builds on the next item and helps you get a more clear view of the future and the direction that you're taking the business. And again, this is a process, not a one-time event. It may take you a couple days to do this. It may take you a few weeks, but get input and make sure that you get it documented so you have clear direction and you can share it with your team. I want to thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you gained a couple insights and you get some encouragement to start planning for 2025. Make sure you like the show, make sure you share it, make sure you subscribe so we can continue to grow our audience. But pass this along to your team and use these aspects today to help you plan for 2025. Thanks for joining me today and keep up the great work. Thank you for listening to the Why Coaching Works podcast. I hope this episode has helped you see the individual, business, and executive impact, growth, and development that coaching provides. Please take a second to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Each review helps me impact more people just like you and make a difference in this world. See you on the next episode of Why Coaching Works.